Send. Hey, pals. I've been pretty hyped up on Dance with the Dead this week. I learned that they're playing a show actually in Vancouver on my birthday on May 13th. So I have birthday plans now. I really do. Oh man. Yo, so Matt, you're in the chat there. Matt was saying he's found some old reel content, like stuff that he made years and years ago when applying to well, perhaps I'll let him say himself, but it's I'm curious if you just have that and you want to put it out there, man. Because you got me looking through my old stuff too. We were saying, or we have said in previous Real Talks that this is very much. I mean, the standard for Reels goes up. Reels and demos, it goes up all the time, right? So, if we look back, and we being Matt and myself, we've talked about this. We've talked about how if we looked back on our past stuff and thought, would we hire us? Like, we would not hire us. It's not good. And I think I got my first gig primarily just due to persistence, and that's about it. Yeah, my demo was I went to the studio and was like, here's my CD of, or it's like a CDR RW of like a data CD of some things I had made. And they're like, it was not good. it was not that good, man. Holy. Just like MP3s offered without comment and without explaining what it was, and oh man, like here's something I made in 2006. Let's see here. Let me pause this. Actually, let me crank this for like 5 seconds. It's so good. Are you kidding? All right, waves. Like, look at these things. I got like the various, like this salsa thing I made. Yeah, go Kevin 12 years ago. Grooves hard. It does. Listen to this. And then part 3. That's enough of that. And like that was on that CD. It's just in a freaking heap of like here's some things I did. Oh man. Yes, we all start somewhere. Thank you, Narshops. So how's everyone doing? Thank you for being here yet again. We have our OG guest host of Matthew Marteinsson on Skype this time around. In fact, let me just dial him up right now. And I'm not sure that Skype will be able to hear some things like this that I'm playing, but we'll see if I can find anything else. Also, I'm curious if Matt wants to share the stuff he got hired with, or perhaps things he did not get hired with a long time ago. So let me dial up Matt here. Here we go. All right, Colin.
Yo.
Hey, man.
Hey, I was there. All right. Okay, cool.
How's it going?
I'm only listening to one of you.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm a bit delayed on one of them, so I think you're also a bit quiet on my end. Can you turn yourself up a bit?
Yep.
You're
How about that?
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were louder. Perhaps you were just nearer to the mic before. I don't know. But anyways. Well, I'll carry on saying thanks everyone for being here. This is again another edition of Real Talk. It's Power Up Audio's weekly demo reel review stream with Matthew Marteinsson. Usually holding it down in the chat. This time I have him on Skype. Thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to actually have a voice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Matt's been saying to me kind of just personally that it's been kind of a treat. It's been real nice to have a second perspective, a second voice on the stream rather than just being kind of a chat full of discussion, as we've been having various guest hosts from Raven and composer pals of mine, and Jomo and Robbie Elias from 343 Industries. And actually coming up this next month, I had just said on Twitter that we have a few openings remaining in Real Talk for May. I think we have 4 of the 8 are now filled, that being 2 per week in 4 weeks. So
The guests you've got lined up for May are ridiculous. Like, it's so good. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, it's nice because it seems like ridiculous guests just beget more ridiculous guests because people say, "Oh yeah, they were on that. Oh sweet, it must be legit," and they they come on board. So yeah, next month we have Camden Stoddard. Hey Zeke UK, thanks for that follow. We have Camden Stoddard from Double Fine. We've got Mike Moraski from Valve, and maybe Emily Ridgway as well. I'm hoping she can join us.
Cool.
She's also at Valve, so maybe they can just be in the same room, kind of like Jomo and Robbie were. We've got Jerry from Take Two. He's audio director there. He was audio director on at Microsoft for a while, and what else did he do? He did the freaking soundtrack for Descent 3, which is really good.
Wow.
When I first met him at GDC, I was like, I saw his badge, and I'm like, "Yo, you did Descent 3," and he's like, "Yeah, why do you know that?" Yeah, it's such a good soundtrack, though. So. And then, of course, also Jeff Van Dyke, who I think you know, Matt, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was the audio director on Alien Isolation, and also did Assault Android Cactus and Total War, and yeah, he's been kind of all around the block. I think he did like NBA '97 for the SNES. He's been around for a while. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to May. It's going to be super good. All right, and then June has some folks lined up as well, so it's just getting better and better. So anyways, if you are new to Real Talk, this is a demo reel, a game audio demo reel review segment.
We are common foe.
Hey, Bleezy, thanks for that follow. So we're looking for a few things. We get submissions from up-and-comers in the game audio scene, and we get their reels, and we kind of receive them as if they were applying to a company we were leading, so we give them first impressions and just feedback on the reel and say, oh, you know, this is good, this is not good, this is great, this is terrible, etc. And all in the effort of getting them hired. So Matt and I have been doing this since June of last year, and in 2 weeks since then. So we're into like 80-some reels now, man. It's crazy.
Wow.
I know, it's nuts. Time's flying by. So we're looking for a few things. I've got them up in the bottom left corner of the overlay here. So we're looking first for presentation, and then material selection, content quality, and distinction. So presentation is kind of how you present yourself on the internet to people who do not know you from Adam. And that involves not only the reel, but the website, and just kind of overall design, just how you are, how your first impression is looking, basically. And so the material selection, I'll let you talk about that, Matt.
Yeah, we want to see, like, did you pick stuff that we've seen a million times? Did you pick stuff that's fresh and new to us? Did you pick stuff that fits what you want to be getting a job doing, amongst other things?
Yeah, it's really important to kind of tailor your reel towards the job you want. It's like dress for the job you want, right? It's the same kind of concept. If you
Reel for the job you want.
Yeah. So we have... here, I'll turn off my sidechain. I keep cutting you off. Sidechain off. There we go. It's like, sorry, Matt, your voice is ducked under me. Deal with it. Yeah, so for example, we always give the example of Barney Oram, who got hired at the Star Citizen developer Cloud Imperium a while back, and he applied with a very sci-fi centric kind of reel, and that makes sense. I mean, if he was doing all like The Witcher and kind of like medieval fantasy style stuff, then they might say, yeah, sounds great, but I mean, the inevitable question would be like, can you do sci-fi? You know? So of course, just tailor your reel for the job you want. And then content quality is just, is it good? And by good, we mean, is it hitting the industry standard of awesome? And that standard is kind of always rising, which is a very good thing for everyone. And then finally, distinction, Matt.
Just kind of like, does it stand out to us? Does it stand out from the crowd? Does it make itself known to be different? And it's sort of like, it's hard to describe exactly what distinction is, but you know it when you see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hear it.
Yeah, it can be a variety of things. I mean, we've had people who have programmed their own synths, or they have programmed games in synths, or they have just a really slick-looking website, or they have a really great, like the production quality on the reel itself, as far as titling and opening and closing bookend kind of splash screens are like really, really good. So
yeah.
If whatever it is that gets you into like a little hook into their memory, so that perhaps you don't get hired this time around, but next time you apply, they're like, oh, yo, it's Mike again. Oh, yo, it's Rachel again. Like they know who this is because you were memorable. And that's kind of the whole distinction point. So today we have two reels. We have a name I will definitely say wrong, and one I know personally I will not say it wrong. So we have Ryan Collins of Phaser Audio, a fellow I met at GDC, and I've chatted here and there with for a while. And this fellow, who I've never met before, but hit us up on Twitter, and I want to say Jeff Drawbaugh. I have no idea, man. If you're in the chat, make yourself known. I saw Ryan there. Yeah, of course, Phaser in the chat with as many kappas. Thanks, man. And yeah, Jeff, if you're around, let me know for sure. Oh, there he is, Cascadnac. Close. Oh my God, close. I feel so bad when I say names wrong. I always say like my name down here, right? Regami, my last name. I'll hand my card to people at conferences, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool. Game is in your name, Regami." And I'm like, "Oh my God, please." It's the worst. So I feel like it's my like I have more of a duty to say names right. So I apologize. It rhymes. Jeff Draw what? It rhymes. I have no idea. Jeff Drawbaugh, is what you're saying? It rhymes. Okay, so let's have a look at Jeff's first, seeing as he's right in the chat right there. Cascadnac.
So just one thing, Kevin, before we jump into this.
Please.
You've got the file that I sent you of my first demo thing, don't you?
I have it like in the Slack channel, I think.
Yeah. So how about, if you really want to stick around to the end, how about you play that at the very end? Because I'll guarantee you everything is better than that.
This is wootwootdemo.mp3?
Yep.
Okay. I'll download this right now on my my Mac side. I have it good to go. It's sitting in a Finder window, ready for me to press spacebar. Okay, so we're all lined up. Okay, Jeff, let's do it. So right away it says Jeff. Drawbaugh. That's what rhymes, not Jeff Drawbiff. Drawbaugh. Okay, got it. So music composition and sound design. You got work, services, about, and contact. Front page, Matt. What do you think?
I got a demo reel right in my face.
Yeah,
I like that. It's nice and clean.
Absolutely. What's up, Josh? Good to see you in the chat there. Yeah, we always say that it's nice to have kind of the number one thing you want people to look at, just front and center. Because the thing is, people's time is generally valuable, and if you get 10 seconds of someone's time, especially if they're an audio lead at a big company like some AAA studio you want to work at, then you want to use those 10 seconds wisely, right? So having this front and center, it's very, very clear. Like, hey, you're here, watch this. This is why you're here. So good stuff. It is maybe a bit long, but we'll see. It's 2 minutes and 23 seconds long.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, right away it's getting into danger zone territory, but that's all right. So we have unique, extremely versatile, creative, made-to-order, stylish, highly professional, polished composition for games and film. Okay. Jump to game audio, film, sound, music. So are there different reels? Is that what this is saying? Game audio. Oh no, just jumps down to the various things. So this reel might be a combination of like game and film stuff, I suspect, and perhaps music and sound too. We'll see. So plenty to look at here. We've got shipped projects, always good. You worked on Waking Mars. No way. That's killer. You know that one, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good game.
Didn't that get some IGF recognition a while back?
Maybe
I feel like
nominations.
I'm looking this up right now. Waking Mars IGF. I'm sure it did. Road to IGF. It was for sure in there. Yeah, finalists and winners. It was in for a variety of things. Looks like. Damn, awesome.
Cool.
Good stuff, man. Good credit. So, film sound, we're not really too concerned about. It's mainly a game audio kind of focused show, so we'll skip that for the most part. But if it's in the reel, we'll comment a bit. And some links down here. Cool. Twitter, Facebook, Mail to link, which we never love, but there it is. Like if I click this, it's going to try and open Outlook, and I've never used Outlook in my life. It's just never going to happen. And IMDb, cool. All right, so, I'm curious, SoundCloud, let's see this. When's your last posting? Your last posted thing was 11 months ago, and 1 year. It's a while. So the thing about linking Bandcamp and SoundCloud and stuff like that, where you would probably upload things over time, is that people might wonder, like, what you've been doing, I know that it's not something I will definitely wonder, because if your reel is good, it'll speak for itself. But I know that perhaps for some of you out there who feel like you should put a SoundCloud link there just for the sake of having it, it's not necessarily good, because if it's recent, it's really good. If it's like last thing 2 days ago, I'm like, freaking hey, man, that's fantastic. But when it's getting into like 2 years territory or like 1 year plus, you kind of start to wonder. So anyways, okay, back to the main page here. Let's go to About. Yes?
Yes.
So I am a music composer and sound designer currently living in Portland, Oregon. This picture says Portland. Holy. I have developed a vast knowledge and understanding of numerous musical genres and over 20 years of music and audio composition and performance. My ability to play most instruments provides endless possibilities for composition. Please contact me to discuss your project and how I can help you realize your vision. Cool. Easy enough. Brief, says all you need to say. Pretty cool cat in this picture is my hipster costume. Yeah, I suppose so. Holy. Yeah, so we'll go into, I guess, services is fine next. So music, composition, sound design, editing, Foley, dialogue, sound effects, field recording, sure. This page, like, having its own thing just for a list feels kind of, I don't know.
The thing I want to comment about it is, like, music composition is first, which is great, and then there's a whole bunch of sound design related stuff, and there's only one mention of sound design on the front page. We haven't watched the reel yet to see what's in there, but it's heavily composer music focused, and there's only one project under game audio that mentions doing sound effects.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's really common on Real Talk. We'll see we'll see this kind of thing, like music composition and sound design, and then the page is like music. It's just very, very music. So, I mean, for example, here, I'll just do this for a second. I'll pull this over here. And,
Volkov reporting.
Hey, and format 18. Welcome, yo. Solid handle. Was and format 17 taken? So let's go into, let me see here. I have like Bryce Cancer, for example, is one that comes to mind. So this page here is like composer and sound designer, and the page is like all very, very music. So it's kind of, the sound design feels like it's there because people feel like it has to be. Like they assume that people are looking for kind of generalists, which is not always the case. It depends. I know, Matt, like as far as let's say like Clay's hiring practices, like what do you look for as far as like specializing generalists?
I mean, all of our sound designers definitely have music skills, but we have a composer, and we have two composers, and that's who composes the music.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good that we can all talk musically, but the sound designers are not expected to do music composition. It's definitely separate roles.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing for Power Up, actually. I mean, all our, like, I mean, Joey and Cole and Jeff and myself, we all have backgrounds and like post-secondary in some cases in music, but these days our focus is entirely in sound design. Like personally, as far as like the production work that we are doing personally, it's almost entirely sound. And if it goes into music, it's things like music editing or music implementation and like occasionally music direction, but not usually. Like usually it's kind of a like we leave the music to the composers we collaborate with, right?
Yep.
All right, you want to watch this reel, man?
Let's watch it.
Okay, I'm gonna go full screen. Make sure that my Chrome is cranked up because it is for sure not right now. Here we go. All right, I'll go full screen and 3, 2, 1. All right, pausing. I would for sure be skipping through probably by 15, 20 seconds ago, but we'll keep going.
I would have started skipping at 16 seconds.
Okay.
اوكي هذا مش بيفعل اوكي تمام
يقول معكم برنامج سوداني.
كنت معكم تقريبا هي جيت بلازم مقال في عصر كنت معكم تقريبا هي
All right. Applause. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so Matt and I both said that we would not have watched that whole thing through had it not been for Real Talk. But, let's play again here. The reason, I mean, the thing is, it's for sure like a mainly music reel. And like you said in the chat, yep, that's where we're at, mostly music. Okay. So that's fine. But it again points back to the whole thing, like it says music and sound design, but there's not a lot demonstrating that you're in sound design. So yeah, I mean, Matt, what was your first impression there?
Achieved.
Yeah, I got about 16 seconds, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. You know, I'm willing to see more, but I wasn't willing to sit through it myself.
Yeah, knowing so the thing I think where it comes down to is that we knew how long it was going into it. And when you get like 15 seconds into a reel, you tend to get a feel for how it's going to go, like how the full thing is going to go. And my impression right away was that we were going to be on the same game for a while, and then the same game for a while, and the same game, and that's what happened. So I tend to be a bit more generous than Matt, I think, as far as like watching reels. But regardless, I still went on to watch the whole thing through. I'd be skipping through. So, and the thing about skipping through is now you're kind of losing control. So
yeah.
You want to talk about narrative a bit, Matt?
Yeah, sure. It's always really good. You want somebody to watch your entire reel because you're setting the sort of narrative of what you want them to pay attention to and what you want them to notice, and you know what's your best stuff. And as soon as they start clicking around, you've lost control of that story that you're telling them and the information that you're wanting to get. And maybe now they've missed the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really common that I'll want to skip over something. And then I'll find like, oh, there was something in the middle that was like really cool. Actually, I just totally missed it because I just couldn't be bothered to watch through, and the pacing was too slow for me. So this reel, I think, is for sure, even for a music reel, is for sure longer than it needs to be. It's you can. I mean, the thing about the reel. So Jeff, I think what we need to talk about here is that this reel doesn't need to be like everything. It needs to be enough to get someone's interest and get them to click further. So if you took all your clips and cut them in half, that would be fine. And perhaps you wouldn't get the entire musical phrase that you had kind of had in mind. But hopefully, if someone liked a given tune, they would think to themselves, oh, I like that. I want to hear more of that. And they'd go to your SoundCloud or go to your work down below and say, oh, I loved Waking Mars stuff. Let's go to that. And now what happens? We go here, and look, we have the soundtrack right here on Bandcamp. So we can totally listen through it. So you don't need to have that much music there. And when it comes to that Game Jam thing, I'll say, by the way, that Game Jam voice effect is really cool. I like that a lot. For a Game Jam, that's like a really wonderful way to kind of just pump out voice. It's just kind of elongated, right? So in that case, that kind of thing, you just say, here's the gist. That was enough. Like you showed a bunch of people talking in that game, and they all sound kind of the same. It's a bit different, but the effect is the same, and it gets the point across like way earlier than than you needed that. It could have gotten the point across in much less time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the presentation a bit. Yeah.
I don't know where it fits, but this is the old. There's sound effects in my music reel.
Yeah. So the thing about there's kind of different kinds of reels, and it's common for look who's in the chat, Damien Shepard, whose page I bring up constantly. So Damien Shepard has his reel right here, game audio, right? And I have this thing on speed dial, man. And so sound design, music, implementation. He says to us, these are my skill sets. What do you want to see? And lets us kind of pull that magnifying glass out and look at sound design and look at implementation, look at music, and not have to put it all in one. You can have what you might call a sizzle reel, which is more of a kind of a visual presentation of credits more than it is a presentation of your skill sets, I think, in my opinion. There could probably be a bit of your skill sets in there too. You want to make it sound good, obviously, but the sizzle reel is more like, look at all this cool stuff I've worked on. See ya. And that's kind of it. So in terms of this doesn't really fit the sizzle reel thing because A, it's not hype. It doesn't get me pumped up watching this thing. It's just sort of here's a tune for a while. Here's another tune for a while. So it doesn't do that. And it's got sound and music. And right now, I don't know if you did all that stuff at all. I mean,
well, it's definitely only listed as music composition, and lower down in the page when it shows the shipped products, it's again just music composition.
Yep.
So you've got sound in there that's not yours that inadvertently people will judge you by, and whether it's good or bad, if unfortunately if it's bad, you'll get judged by that bad audio that you didn't do.
Yeah, so the I for sure saw the same thing because when I moused over Waking Mars, oh yeah, Waking Mars, cool. I saw right there music for game soundtrack, done. And then when it came to that part in the video, I was like, there's sounds in here, like the jetpack thing, which is not that good. Like the jetpack's fine, it's like, and that's it. So the sound was very kind of what you see is what you get. It wasn't special. And the thing is, if I hear that and you didn't do it, and I think, oh, this person's sound design like isn't quite like not what I'm looking for, whether it's good or not. If it's not what I'm looking for, and you didn't even do it, then that's a bad assumption on my part, right? But I mean, what else am I going to think? It's in your reel.
Yeah, you want to get judged on your merits, not other people's.
Jeff says my favorite Matt. Aw. Aw. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. That's my co-founder in crime here. So there's no film stuff in this reel also, which is interesting. So do you want to work in film more? Because this reel being, here's my stuff, then there's nothing here showing film. So I'm curious if you want to even work in film. I don't know. No, we don't talk about film much on here, but it's, there's the meh. So if you're pushing towards, as long as Matt Thorson is in the room, he's tough competition, man.
There's a lot of good Matts.
Yeah, it's always a trick, kind of deciding what you want to show and not show. Because the thing is, what you're showing, it not only shows your skill sets and work history, it shows your ambition too. So seeing that this is all you're showing, we're kind of making a safe assumption that you want to work in games primarily. And the film stuff there is like, oh, by the way, this thing is here too. But if you don't even care if I look at it, then I would question why it's on your page. And if you want to, it's just very, I guess if you want to make some more money and some film people stumble across your page and they see, oh, they work in film. But I mean, right now, they watch your reel and it's all games. And they're going to think to themselves, oh, I guess he's focusing on games. So it's not even in that possibility, like that edge case of someone stumbling up on your page, they're probably going to walk away thinking like, oh, well, they're not even focused in film, so who cares? So I think it's for sure your choice based on what you want to do.
1% bitches.
Hey, Can Gaming, what's up? It's your choice, of course, but I think I would definitely consider just removing things that you don't care if people look at, and just trimming the fat.
Or put up another demo that's film oriented.
Yeah.
If there was there was a game audio demo reel and a film demo reel, then I would think that you kind of like you were after both of those things, in equal amounts. Right. But right now I'm like, oh, all I think is you want to do game audio. And the film sound is an afterthought. Yeah.
I like Beowulf though, pretty good title. Okay, separate reel. Yeah, I mean some people even have like a separate page,
Yeah.
I mean this is much more kind of further down the spectrum of diversification maybe hurting you, but we've had people that have like practical film effects on their same page, and it's like, wow, man, that's a totally different field than audio. And there's photography and things like this. And you think, well, maybe it's worth having, your page for photography or for your practical special effects on its own page. So when you meet someone like that at a film conference or something, you can say, hey, here's my card, and it's like the card for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than ever.
Karova. I want to get these good follows today. What's up? Welcome on in, everyone. Okay, let's talk about presentation of the reel here. So we've got this front bookend here. Let me go full screen again.
Comes in with sound right away, so it's not the silent bookend, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And it comes in slow too. It's like, what? It's
Yep.
like, yeah, we're gonna ease into this reel. Here's the volume. Get ready. It's super nice.
Yep.
So good on you. And as far as info, Jeff, and here's the link. Cool. Like maybe it's worth putting your email there too. I saw your emails on your contact page, so you're clearly fine with having it on the internet. So might be worth having it there. Maybe. Okay.
Interesting thing with the titles, when you go full screen, the titles are totally good and not hidden by the navigation bar. But when you just click on them right on the web page, they're kind of buried underneath the navigation bar.
The what? Sorry. Oh, like the lower thirds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Full screen, it's not, but when it's just the window in the website, they totally get hidden.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this could probably, if you're unsure what we're talking about, this this kind of lower third here with the spider right of the shuttered moon, sorry. Music composition. It's a bit low because it gets covered up a bit if you have the progress bar here. So probably worth just inching it up a bit.
Yep.
And it did say, I know we were talking about how it's unclear if you did sound for these games, and it does say music right here, which is good, and that kind of removes some of the assumption stuff, but it's still probably worth it just to remove things that you don't want people's attention on. Just have them listen to your music alone and nothing else, right? So we'll keep playing through, and you leave titles up, good stuff. So if people do skip through or skip back, for example, once they finish the reel, they can see right away what this thing was. And the transition point was tasteful, fine, good crossfade, easy. It's all super nice. And then the last clip, I couldn't help but notice that the lower third changed position and font.
To an upper third.
To an upper third. And it's like right at the very top, and it's different font and kind of different format. So it's a very small detail, mind you, but I noticed it right away. And I was like, that's kind of weird. So details like that are kind of worth paying attention to, because people like myself, for example, if there's a hirer out there who you're looking to impress and they are, details oriented, perhaps to a fault, then they see things like that and wonder like, I wonder how far that perhaps perceived absence of attention to detail goes, and does that go into their work too? And I mean, but more importantly, you just want to kind of fill these cracks and just keep people focused on the thing you want them focused on. So as soon as this happens, well, now I'm looking at the freaking inconsistent title and not looking at your work. So just the more you can keep it consistent, the better it's going to be. Okay, so I'll press play on Waking Mars briefly. Yeah, cool. So we already mentioned that you can make this whole thing much shorter, and I totally stick by that in a big way. Music reels are generally a bit more lenient as far as length, but I mean, 1:30, you probably don't need more time than that to show your best stuff. And I saw someone in the chat, Aki Bilbao, said in my opinion, he has focused on work done, but listening to his music on SoundCloud, I think he has much more potential than the music shown, which is interesting. So, Jeff, I'm curious if, well, A, what kind of work you want to work on in the future, and B, I guess what kind of music you want to write for that stuff. So, if you're writing really cool stuff now that is not, current, if you're writing stuff that is more current than the stuff shown, and more relevant to your current skill sets and interests, then it might be worth putting that stuff against some video or something. Like, I don't know, Matt, what are your thoughts on rescoring games, dude?
Yeah, do it. I mean, like, I think that in this case, what's there, like, I would cut one of the spider pieces and put in some like rescoring stuff that shows the more variety of what you can do. You know, because you've got two kind of similar things that, and I was actually confused when I first saw them. You know, with one being the sequel to the other.
Totally.
So I think that'd be a spot to cut it down and put in something else that's a different variety of that shows off. Yeah, what you can do, what else you can do.
Okay, cool. So we'll skip ahead a bit more. The game jam thing, I like that it's in here a lot.
Yeah.
I like that you said it's made in one day. That's kind of cool. Just something you're proud of. And it also shows just the fact that you did a game jam shows that you have interest in the community and you're taking initiative to that kind of thing and so forth. All right, so he says in the chat, fair. I can rescore some trailers or something. Yeah, well, trailers or that is one thing that's missing from your current work. Because it's you may want to get away from film stuff, but it's not like there's no linear media in games, right? You can still design or score a trailer or a cutscene or something, and just show your aptitude for kind of writing to a synced piece, if that's something you want to do, and it can never hurt really. And in addition, it just shows your aptitude for even more than you already have. Shows your aptitude for taste, like for saying this is appropriate for this media, and if someone agrees, they might hire you, right? All right, so this game jam piece, I really liked it, just in general. I think it's really strong work.
I also really liked that it was like called out that I did this in a day, because then you're like, oh man, okay, he can work quick.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
It's also
because
really
it doesn't
different.
sound like it was done in a day.
Yeah, it's super different. I said in the chat there, I don't know if you saw there, Matt, but he was saying it was covering, like the lower third was going to cover the text boxes, but I was like, no one's watching a reel for text boxes. It's fine. Like it's not a big deal. People will see, and the thing is, your previous lower thirds had this kind of gradient going on, and it's not opaque, so it's fine. People will see it. I mean, it might like get a bit busy with what's behind it, but it seems dark enough. You shouldn't have that competing too much. But anyways,
it covers a bunch of the HUD in Waking Mars and stuff, but like that's really not the focus. Like when I'm watching a reel, that's not my focus. So, you know, I'd totally be fine that those text boxes kind of got covered up a bit.
Word. Okay, so this is all fine. I guess we'll go back to the beginning. This is definitely a very, as we've said several times now, it's a very music-centric, music-focused kind of reel. So we
Executed with impunity.
Hey, Silence CS, Counter-Strike, yeah. All right, so as far as like this real talk segment, we usually focus on sound design. Like, I mean, I have a bit more aptitude for that kind of thing, and I know Matt does too. But of course, we'll still comment on flow and things like that. So I don't want to tear apart your music too much because I'm not sure I'm the best person to do that. But I'm sure Matt probably feels similarly. But
my only kind of
sorry, go ahead.
Real comment about the content of the music was sort of that just the two spider pieces were very similar. So you know, I think there was room to get more variety into it. There was nothing wrong with the music that I heard, you know. Yeah,
I really liked how the game jam piece was so different in both kind of presentation and in the sound design and in either it was sound design at all, which is nice. Yeah, and it's what you did, and just the music being very different than the previous pieces. It's good. So I didn't see if you said so, Jeff, in the chat. But what do you want to be working on? Like, what do you want to? Who are you applying to? Basically, are you applying to work for audio houses or to a big studio like Blizzard or to indie teams, or what's your thinking? In the meantime, we'll just talk about the next thing on criteria. Content quality. So it's hard to talk about the content quality of the sound design because there isn't much of it, but what I saw was pretty cool. So I mean,
and there's definitely a good there's a case that you shipped all these games, so you made somebody happy. So you know, you kind of feel like, oh, okay, well, somebody picked that music for their game, so that means that you can do something that people like. So that's good. And
you can work with the team and so forth. There's a lot that says beyond here's what the music sounds like, you know. So this sound design is cool and it's done in a day. I would love to hear more sound design, man. That's my only real feedback. It's as far as like more sound effects. If you do want to do that and you're not just putting it there because you feel like you have to, then you should do more game jam stuff, do more mod kind of stuff, or like Unity tutorials, or whatever. Like there's projects out there you can put your own sound design in, and it's going to be your work. on something that is a game, and that's totally fine, even though it's not a shipped title, and it's not like shipped by anyone, mind you. Like it could be just a tutorial kind of thing, you know. So, but it's going to show your work, and showing your work at all is going to be better than having nothing here to adjudicate.
Yeah, I would probably do 2 more reels actually. I would cut out all the sound effects from this one and cut it down so it's just music. Make a sound effects for games reel and then a film reel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if, like you're saying, if film, Jeff, like you're saying, if film is even something you want to do. If it is, then I think making a reel is worthwhile. And if they're all nice and short, then you're fine. It's not going to be wasting people's time. They'll hone in to what they want to focus in. They'll watch that thing. No problem. Okay, and what's up, Taco Bowl and BJ1101? Welcome on in. Don't worry about being late. You're right on time. It's fine. Glad you're here. Let's. I want to glance at some music really fast because, as Aki was saying in the chat, apparently new stuff is much better. So let's go on, or just different perhaps. So let's go to the SoundCloud page.
Oh damn! I just clicked on the first Funky Cop show and I'm like, whoa, like totally different than
oh damn,
all
really?
the stuff in the reel. Like
okay, here we go. Press and play. It might be a bit loud. We'll see. Funky Cop show. Oh, this is so different, man.
Yeah. And then there's like a reggae song. There's definitely a lot of like. Oh, we got a club banger.
Yeah, like what is this so different? Reggae jam.
Yeah. Baby This Love is some sort of like club hit tune. Yeah, I definitely think just from slipping through those little bit of SoundCloud links, you know, you're a diverse composer, and I don't think that's currently being shown in the reel that you're presenting to people.
Yeah, I agree. It's really. I mean, we always say, like Matt, we always say this, that it's so common that people's reels are like underperforming their actual ability. It's under communicating that, you know.
Yeah.
People are often better than their websites and reels are conveying. It's really common. It's happening right now. Like the first 5 seconds, those 5 tracks were like, oh, you can do more than those 2 spider tracks. It's I think it's worth showing. And it's not like these kind of pieces would be out of place in any game ever, right? Like there's tons of games that are kind of off the wall and use like funky jazz pieces. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're totally relevant. So I think if you cut down your reel, put in some rescored stuff that shows some of this depth, then I think you'd be off to the races.
Yeah, word. What's up, Wickhole Sin? Front page of Twitch. Yeah, you know it. Watch the Mimi popular streams. I'm enjoying this, to be honest. Oh, thanks. Yo, Witwix. There's definitely a time for Witwix, that's for sure. But welcome on in. Yeah, we're doing a demo reel review segment right now. So we get game audio demo reels from up-and-comers in the industry and games, and we just tear them apart and say, well, here's what you can improve to increase your chances of being hired somewhere. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, I guess let's talk about distinction. Distinction, I mean, it's not standing out that much to me right now. Just because, well, I mean, the Spider ×2 thing, and it's a long reel and doesn't really hold me that well. So yeah, I mean, but the thing is, this stuff on SoundCloud was like instantly way more interesting to me. So I don't know. What do you think, man?
I'm the same. I mean, I like that it's a clean site, so I'm not like turned off at that far. But I see, it's a bit long of a reel, and I'd probably bounce off of it at that point because I generally don't have a lot of time to look at these things. So I might not even get down to the like, really good stuff down on the SoundCloud link, which would be a shame.
Yeah. I mean, it's this last bit with the cool sound design and stuff with the game jam piece. It's kind of like this would probably be missed by a lot of people, and I think it's some of the kind of cooler, more unique stuff in this reel. So that's a real shame. Okay, yeah. So I think that's probably enough for Jeff here. And as always, if you have any other questions afterwards, Jeff, like feel free to reach out on Twitter or wherever, and we'll be happy to kind of help you out. So a little bit of applause. Thank you very much, Jeff. Cheers, pal. All right, and let's go over to Phaser Audio. Do you know Ryan Collins, Matt?
I don't know. I'm horrible with names.
I don't
Like
know.
I am the
I'm
worst
put in the
person
spot
with
here.
names. So maybe.
He's like, never met him. Ryan's like, we shared a beer at
Yeah,
GDC.
we could have.
Yeah.
I gotta see. Maybe if his picture's on his website, I'm better with faces.
We talked about modular synths for like 45 minutes. Yeah, okay.
I'm
Well,
the
Ryan
worst.
Collins was showing Everything. The game was called Everything. And it was at the IGF. So I suspect we may see some of that in this reel. And
I
this,
know everything.
You know everything?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
It was
good.
primarily Eduardo Ortiz Frau doing the sound design, and I believe Ryan did some support here and there. And I was giving him an earful at GDC because he's like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't put it in my reel. I'm like, what are you it's an IGF nominated game that you worked on in some capacity. As long as you say honestly what you worked on in that capacity and in what capacity, it's totally fine. You know? Like what's so for Matt, for you, what is the game for which you have supported the least? Like as far as the work you put into it, like what's the least work you put in a game, and what was it? You know?
I don't know. No, I can't think of what that would be. But there's stuff that I've done like just like a handful of sounds for.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, so for example, Cityville from Zynga with their like 50 million players, whatever it was on Facebook. My old job, they did the sound for it, and I did some support on it. And I will happily say I worked on Cityville. I did technically work on Cityville, you know? And but I will for sure follow that up with, if you like build a restaurant or something and your little citizens go like, woo, then that's my voice. Like I will say that's like my one contribution to the game, right? It's like a silly joke, but yeah, I will happily tell you I did work in that game, you know? Regardless of the fact that I didn't do the entire thing myself or something, it's not even relevant. As long as you're honest, it's totally fine. So
yeah, like one of our current games, actually, I'm doing very little on of Oxygen Not Included. I did a whole bunch of machine stuff, mechanics and stuff for that, but the majority of the stuff is done by one of our other sound designers. So
yeah,
you know, but I'm still going to say I worked on Oxygen Not Included.
Yeah,
you know, and just be like, yeah, I did the machines. some of the machines, not even all of them.
All right, so we're landing on the page here. Phaser audio. So the first thing, and the thing, Matt and I are both in agreement over this, and this is maybe something it's a big change, mind you, but the first thing we both thought was that your logo looks like it's for car audio.
Yeah. Do you install stereos?
And I
Can I get my windows tinted here
Matt,
too?
Matt said, I couldn't put my finger on it, but Matt said it first. I was like, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So what is it that says that to you, Matt? Like, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's the red line and the font are
Yeah?
the main things that I don't know. I guess I've just seen a lot of like car stereo installation places with close to that kind of font.
Yeah, like sleek, kind of like this font's going fast and stuff like that. You know,
Yep.
it's really, I don't know what it is. I mean, we're not here to tear apart your logo, of course, but that is it's worth just mentioning. The first thing we thought was that. So I don't know, man. I don't know how married you are to it, and maybe it's totally fine. I don't know. I mean, I say this literally, like having sent an email to a logo rebrander like this morning for Power Up Audio. It's like we're currently looking to rebrand a bit ourselves. So it's not something I want to be like, yeah, ours is perfect, and you gotta get on our level, you know. It's like not the case. So just something to consider. So yeah,
or
Ryan,
as you said, change careers.
or just change careers entirely. So Ryan Collins, sound designer. So here we go. Sound design primarily, exclusively actually. So I will go back to 100% size here. This is 100% size. We have our demo reel, audio reel. Oh, classic. That's a bot right there. Classic Elena bot. Just followed us. Is all right. Get your ban button ready, man. It's gonna happen. So demo reel, audio reel. What's the difference? Demo reel and audio reel. Okay, and then about, portfolio, and contact. All right. So we start on about.
Bold.
Background. I have nothing to look at right now but an image of what looks to be a Gaussian blurred Pro Tools timeline. And we scroll down to the background. First thing, shortly after receiving. So here is the thing. Yeah, twinged. Exactly, that's the problem. Too many viewers. The first thing here, I'm going to be brutally honest. No one's going to care about this until they have a reason to.
Yeah.
All this text. I'm going to zoom in again. And just by the way, quick point, top right. Your bar gets a bit ugly to look at when it's zoomed in, but not a huge deal. So, shortly after receiving a recording arts and audio engineering certification from Media Tech Institute in Houston, Sunrise Studios, in '08, I moved to Austin, Texas, and began my career in game development. My journey led me through over 8 years of QA work at 4 different AAA dev studios, and over 4 years of sound design, both in-house and freelance. Throughout that time, I helped to ship over 25 titles and have gained a wealth of knowledge about both game audio and the game development process as a whole. Cool. Again, no one will care until they have reason to. So this is very, very bold to have first.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I gotta scroll down like 4 pages to read 4 paragraphs. Like, you're making me work for it.
This is like, if I believe you were here to start the stream, so you probably already heard us mention that you guaranteed have a finite amount of someone's time.
Yeah.
Whether they are a AAA studio looking to hire you, if you apply to them, or if they're an indie team looking for support in their project, or if they're an audio host like us. It's just very like the first thing I think, I'm gonna go back to full screen again, or full size or normal size, and this is like so much space for background. I go down, we have so much space for a small paragraph, then so much space for skills and some like speaker cone in the background, and then 2 paragraphs, and then more huge space, experience,
Positively
Yeah.
royal.
and then more paragraphs, and then hear my work, finally. It's like, yes, I want to hear your work. That's why I'm here, man. So,
OMG, a secret.
And even if you're using the little navigation buttons on the side, you get taken to, background, and you still then have to scroll down to read the stuff.
yeah, I don't like this page, man. It's making, Matt said it best, it's making us work a lot. If we compare it to the page we just closed, Jeff's, it's like, this is wonderful. It's like, boom, you roll in and it says, here is my stuff. This is why you're here. Press play. This page, we get here and it's like background. And you're like, what is this? So Lemon Crispers said it perfectly. What is this? By the way, this is Real Talk. We're reviewing demo reels for from Game Audio folks. All right, so this is very, what is this? So a demo reel is a separate page. Okay, first off, what is the difference between demo reel and audio reel? I'm really curious.
And then portfolio.
And then portfolio.
Yeah.
I think that you could probably benefit from some focus here, man. You worked on Edith Finch. No way. Congrats on the release, man. Released like this week? Monday or something? It's super recently.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday?
What's
it was
up?
Tuesday on Sony. Yeah.
Yeah. Killer.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Good game.
So
It was a good game. I finished
Ascendancy-
it already.
There you go. So, I mean, right away, here's our credited titles. These are like not small titles.
No.
And your page looks, it looks like a page that is scared to show their stuff because they don't have much to show yet.
Yeah.
That's my impression. Like, this is what a lot of kind of student pages look like, because they're like, I gotta fill this space on my Squarespace page or my WordPress page. They have a checkbox. I gotta like check it in. They have a field here. I'm gonna fill this field with some information. And because they don't have things to show yet, so they feel they gotta like use filler,
Yeah.
And these are
Well,
these are good, man. Look at this stuff.
going
QA.
through the QA part, like, honestly, like, I like that when people have done QA, but at the same time, I don't care, because I want to know what you've done as a sound designer, and it's completely padded. You've got stuff like Flower PS4, Flower PS Vita. Just put that all on one line. It's Flower PS4 / PS Vita.
Yeah.
Like, you can consolidate this down, so it's not like I scroll down. I'm like, oh, you've done some heavy hitter sound design stuff, and then, oh my god, this huge massive QA list. I guess you're still just doing QA. Because it's good to have that, but just consolidate that down some.
Yeah, I think even having like maybe having sound design as kind of in white as it is now, and maybe QA is like kind of a secondary thought, like just an afterthought. Like, hey, this is here also if you want to see it. Like, no big deal, and just make it very clear that they're not equal, because right now it really seems like it's like QA is my jam. I look at all this QA stuff I've done, or maybe even just pick some of your favorites, without having to say, here's all my stuff. Because the thing is, if someone is curious about your background, well, it's right freaking here, man. First thing, front and center, background. It says here, I worked on over these titles, over all this work of QA, right? It says they're right there. So you don't need to have it like all the way down. Anyways, so yeah, we'll go to contact really fast. Let's work together. Whether you need sound effects, ambience, dialogue processing, and or audio implementation, I can and gladly will do it all. Well, it's like kind of salesy. I don't know. I guess it should be. I don't know. It's that can go either way. I always have mixed thoughts about or mixed feelings about stuff like that. I can do it all. Call now. You know, it's very. It feels disingenuous, but. If
You'll not get one ambience. You'll get 2 ambiences.
Yeah, exactly. Call now and get a 3rd ambience absolutely free. All right, so this is like this kind of thing. If you're interested, drop me an email. Like it's just it's the same thing you're saying here. I just feel like you could probably trim the fat a bit, but it's very, very details oriented. Let's go back to that demo reel and figure out the difference between demo and audio reel. And by the way, Outlaw Bubba Kush, solid handle. This is great info. Thanks for doing this. I look forward to getting reviewed someday soon. Hell yeah. Please submit.
Come on down.
We have some great guest hosts coming up in the next month from like Valve and Take Two and Double Fine and other places. So please submit. Absolutely. So demo reel. We've got a video reel, and then additional audio samples can be heard here. I haven't heard the first audio samples yet, man.
And I've got to scroll down for it.
Yeah, Ryan, it's just you gotta focus, dude.
Madness, our old friend.
Thanks for that follow, Bubba. So, okay, January 2017 demo reel. A, how do you feel about dating reels, Matt?
I think he's talking about yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm fine with it.
Hold up. So, here we go. January 2017 demo reel, and then the Vimeo says April 2017.
So that's just, yeah. So there's a consistency problem. I think there's dating is fine. Yeah, give some context, but you got to make sure you're consistent.
Yeah, man,
because then I'm questioning stuff because of those two things.
So personally, I'll give my impression. Personally, I always question the value of putting a date on your reel if it's dated to show that it's perhaps old and you've done more things since then update your reel if you think that reel is important to you. If it's super new, I don't care, because if it sounds good, that's all I'm gonna judge you on. You know, it's like if it's great work, I will say, cool, this sounds awesome, and at that point, I will not really have any concern about when you did it because it just sounds good. And it's real. A reel should be an indication of your skill sets and background and ambitions. And if it's doing that, then great. You don't need to say this is done last month. You know.
Totally. Like you're saying, I'm kind of the same. Like I think having a date on it is fine, but I'm going to assume that you're as good as whatever you're showing me. So if it does have a date on it, I'm not going to assume like, oh, you did that last year. I'll bet you he got better. Yeah.
So Eduardo in the chat, sorry, Izolhoff, is saying having the year next to the game title might help to give a sense of timeline on what you've done recently. I guess it's about the portfolio page too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know some people in the past have said like, well, I date things because then if I send them like a new reel, they'll know this one's new because it was done in April. Yo, if you're sending a new reel, just say, here's my new reel. They'll know it's new. You know, that's all you need to say. So anyways, so first off, this video should be on the front page right here where this big background word is. This should be your front page. If people want to learn about you, that should be where they click to afterwards. They should probably and will probably not care about any of this about stuff until they've decided they like your work and they'd be interested in a collaboration. So going to demo reel, on the demo reel page, we have video reel. Okay, so I guess that's like synonymous with demo reel. And then audio reel is, okay, please note that the content on this page may take a while to load. Okay, audio samples. Below is a small sample of some assets I've created. Oh, okay, well, no one's going to care about this. This is worth just ditching entirely, man. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to all this stuff. There's so many things here.
And if I've got to wait for it to load, that's another. I'm going to just nope out. Like, as soon as I've been like, oh, page didn't load, I'm off. And like, all right, let's go look at something else.
Yeah, totally. I mean, hey, what's up, Steiny44? Welcome on in. We've got, okay, interaction, magic, UI, creatures, ambience. Like, it's just very... These are the kind of things that you should show in your reel because these are contextless, and that's a big problem. Showing your work against I mean, Gordon McGladdery was on our stream as a guest host last week and said it very nicely. He said that our industry is fixed in a dynamic, interactive place. Like, it's interactive media. And if you can't show that you can work in that field, in that space, then it's a problem. And the thing is, this page is like, let's play the cute squid walk. Like, sure, but what the hell does that squid look like? it's I mean, is this a squid in like Dark Souls? Is this a squid in like a Candy Crush style game? Is it a squid in 3D? Is it a squid in 2D? Is it like, there's so many things to consider. Is it changing? Is the camera fixed? Are we like, is the camera tracking the squid? Is this a dynamic like game control moment? Is it a linear sequence in a cutscene? Like, there's so many things that we don't know a thing about in this clip, and to that reason, it's a complete waste of my time to listen to it, because it's not going to tell me anything. So, and conversely, it's a complete waste of your time putting it here, because no one's going to listen to it. You know? All right, rant over. Okay. All right, let's go to the demo reel. So this page can be nixed entirely, and if there's things in here you love, then you should put them against things that demonstrate your aptitude for context. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of breath.
It's a good time to watch a reel now.
Let's watch a reel. And 124. Okay, cool. It's still kind of in a somewhat safe zone. Let's go full screen and make sure my fader's up, which it is. And I'll press play in 3, 2, 1, a go.
Something's wrong. I can barely move. I need to get out of here and fix myself up somehow. It's pitch black in here.
Game's so good. Cool. All right. I watched the whole thing. I don't know if Matt would have.
I didn't. No, I wouldn't have skipped it, but I was confused at parts.
Yeah, totally.
I will
So
say that.
I certainly have notes. I'm gonna put some applause right now. Thank you very much for that submission, Ryan. Killer. And yo, what's up, Paul? Welcome on in. All right, so I have notes. Okay. I have a bunch of notes. So I'm glad we can go through this point by point. Let's pull up that criteria again. And yo, is that Jay Fernandez in the chat right now? You never make it these days, man. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay. Okay, I'll let you start, Matt, please. Presentation.
Well, I was just quickly going back to the website actually.
Okay, please.
This is, Ryan is somebody who's done QA and is now like doing sound design. And Jay is somebody who does sound design and does QA as a day job as well. And if you go to Jay's website, it's all audio. You go to his website and you're like, right, this is an audio person. There's like no mention of his QA work. And if he listed his QA credits, it would be like, every game that was released last year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's, focus, as you're saying, focus on.
What's up, Jay?
What's
Nice
yours?
site, man. Look at this site. Hi, I'm Jay. My demo reels. Rather works. Good stuff. Just micro reel talk right now. We'll close that. All right, so
So back to the video.
Back to the video. So the thing is, right away, here's the good news. Under portfolio, I would probably have, just back to layout in general, portfolio and credits are kind of different, Ryan, because the portfolio is generally like, I imagine someone with like a bunch of pieces they've worked on, like if they're an artist or if they're they work in color correction, or if they work in games, in audio or art or whatever. Their portfolio is like, here are things you can look at and kind of adjudicate and see if it's right, if it's a good fit for your team kind of thing, or even just as a a presentation of your work in general. So the thing about this is portfolio is your credits, and it's not much to look at, and more. Yes. So additional upon request, sure, whatever. So demo reel, the stuff beneath the reel could probably live on the portfolio page, because it's good that you have these things in a longer capacity and also explained, because we'll get to my notes shortly, but it's explained, which is really important. Matt talked about the narrative concept earlier on, how people will arrive on your page and hopefully watch your reel, and then if they whatever they want to do next, they can do it. If they want to contact you, that info is there. If they want to look into this track you had in your reel and listen to the whole thing, they can do that. If they want to like learn what the hell that clip was, they can do that too. So that's good this is here, but I think having it elsewhere is a better choice. Okay, so let's talk about the reel then. I'm going to full screen again. I'm going to turn it down a bit. And presentation, Matt, what are your thoughts right away, dude?
Well, there was no sound off the top.
Correct.
There was no sound.
Why is
and
that
then
an
the
issue?
titles disappear.
Why is that an issue? There's no sound.
Because I don't know. My instant, anytime I play something in a browser, I'm always like, is my sound turned off? Is my sound, turned out? So then I'll like grab a knob and turn it up and then get blasted as soon as it does make a sound.
True.
So, like in the previous Jeff's one, it had a nice, slow fade in of a sound. So I instantly knew that, all right, there's the sound, and it got to sort of peak volume. And I'm like, all right, I know that I'm at a good volume within 2 seconds, right? So I just sort of like set the stage and if you don't set that stage and I do turn my stuff up and I get blasted, like it puts me in a bad frame of mind, and you don't want anybody in a bad frame of mind when they're, about to review your work.
True. And furthermore, to sound real, man. So for example, you have those SoundCloud links of all these things you've done that you're proud of, assumably. So why not put something that sounds cool right here? Starts out, boom. Here is me doing sound alone, and let me just, make love to your ears. Just have some wonderful thing to listen to right now, and it's just done. So, so let's get into presentation some more here. Matt started going into titles and how titles go away. That is a problem. Here, so we have everything, PS4, PC, additional sound design, cool. It says what you did. I guess having the award here is like pretty good, just to be like, we had this recognition, good stuff, easy enough. And then the title goes away though, and the problem with that is that if I finish this reel, or if I skip through it, I may lose track of what I'm looking at. So I might finish this thing off and then skip back, and there like may or may not be a thing here. And in fact, this bit played here, I can't even find it now. I'm trying to find it actively. Synth demo sound design. So this thing came up, and 10 seconds into it, I like forgot what I was looking at and listening to entirely. So I think having it there through the whole time is better. Also up more than it is on the picture, because it's a bit low and things overlap it. There's generally what's called is it called a safe low limit? That's a music thing. There's a term for this.
In consoles there used to be, I don't know if there still is, there's a concept of safe zone.
Yeah, safe zone,
which is because of TVs and overscans and blah blah blah, you're not allowed to put anything in the HUD within a certain distance of the edge of the screen.
Yeah.
So anything within that safe zone.
Yeah, it's called safe zone for reasons. It's just a safe choice to put things kind of a little higher up, As far as the title itself, let me just talk about your presentation in general. We talked about your kind of car stereo audio thing briefly that we were kind of perceiving. So we have this font, Phaser Audio, with this kind of like sine wave and the red line, and then beneath that, Ryan Collins, sound designer, in his own font. And then in this video, we're all over the board, man. We've got this intro with this font, April 2017, and like no mention of phaser audio. So the branding's kind of weak in that case. We've got there's no contact info here, which is a problem also. You don't know how people are on this page, so or watching this video. I'm curious if it's on the Vimeo page actually. Your info. Short demo of my contributions effort to then game audio. It's all my design. Additional material can be provided upon request. How do they request it, man? So we've got... Oh, okay, so the thumbnail has it here. I guess the end has your information. So there you go. There you go. I was searching, though, right? I was searching for these things. So don't make it harder for people to find your stuff. And consistency is important, too. We get into the titles. This is now kind of its own thing. I'll find a title. Here we go. Everything. There's this kind of gray box around it with this big, bold font that's a bit hard on the eyes, but oh well. And then these kind of rounded edges in this thing. It's just very much its own thing again. And there's a drop shadow. Cool. Next title, we've got this sound design thing. I can't find the title, man. Where is it? It's here.
Interesting thing too on the longer demo for everything. It's the same font, but it's at the top, and it's up the entire time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
You
know. So synth demo. We've got synth in quotes, sound design. I don't know what that is. This is this is very unclear as far as what I'm looking at, and I don't know if it's something that you just is it like a piece called synth that you did a demo for, or is it something like a demo that you made from scratch that you're calling synth, or are you are the quotes like they're like Trump style, just like quotes for the hell of it, or is it? It's hard to know. So just being very clear on what I'm looking at is pretty important. The previous titles get the point across. It says what you did, but it's not really the case for the second piece. And on top of that, there's this fraps number in the corner. You see that, man? Did you notice that the first time through?
Oh, yep.
I saw it right away, and I was like, oh man, okay.
Good frame rate.
Yeah, solid frame rate, 200 plus frames per second. That just looks a bit cheap and a bit amateur. So the thing about making it is that you kind of need to. I mean, even if you're not like a full-on pro, it's really, really to your benefit to look like it. I mean, again, let's look at someone like Damian Shepard, who I know doesn't have like that many credits yet. And a lot of his reel is like things he's redesigned, but his site like looks so sick, you know? Like here you go. This looks very, very, very pro. Even though it's not, he doesn't have like a laundry list of credits. Like you have more credits than Damien does, I'm pretty sure. So it's pretty important to kind of have that that come across. And if that means like hiring a web designer or hiring a consultant in design or something, then I think that might be worth considering like an investment in your business.
Yep.
All right, full screen again. Let's keep going through. This Burly Men at Sea thing was, again...
I want to just go back to stay on the synth thing for a bit.
Okay.
With it being called, I clicked through onto the Vimeo longer thing to get a description of what the actual piece is, but like when it says synth, so I now know what that name means, but when I see synth and then the first things I hear is a bunch of water sounds, I got really confused because
good point. Yeah,
as a sound designer, I'm kind of expecting like synthesizer demo, like, oh, you're gonna like show me some sound design on some synthesizers or something. So I got really confused for a little bit with the water stuff coming in because I didn't have any context of what that really meant, and then we got into the VO and the teletype stuff, which made more sense. But yeah, you had me confused for a bit.
Right. So this is a thing called synth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of tragic that you got like something called everything and then something called synth. they're challenging things to be clear about. But the thing is, if your titles are clear, it has like title, platform, role. If it has that, then you kind of remove a lot of that guesswork. Whereas in this current reel, we've got synth demo, and it's just very, I don't know what that is. It's not very clear as far as what I'm looking at. And you should probably assume that people are not necessarily going to click through and learn for themselves. We'll just draw conclusions from the reel alone.
Yeah.
So I will click through this to Burly Minute C, and now we have this is Burly Minute C redesign sample submission. Okay, so first off, I don't think it matters that it's a sample submission. Like, I don't really care that much that you like try it out for this part. If it's something you're proud of and you have permission to show it, then just call it a redesign. Just call it like this is what I would do, because this is what you would do.
Yeah, to be the like super negative one in the room.
Sure.
Potentially, if I see that this was a sample you set in and you didn't get the job, it makes me wonder, well, why do I want you to do the job then?
Yeah.
Versus if I just see it as it's a redesign. Okay, cool. You redesigned it. That's neat.
I don't think that's negative at all. I think it's very, very astute. Is that if I hear, oh, I went to a competition and I lost, it's like, well, the assumption won't be that you're like super good. It might, even if you were like really close, if you phrase it like that, then people will just draw natural conclusions from that, right? Again, just how you present yourself. Even if you were doing this and you didn't get the job, just reframe it. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna call you on it. They'll say, okay, cool, sweet. They may play the game itself. They may agree that the game is more appropriate. The sound in the shipped title is more appropriate than yours. But still, this kind of thing just shows your initiative and your creative vision and aptitude and so forth, right? So it's not like the fact that you tried for a job is not relevant to my hiring procedures. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so let's click through some more. And then this, I just hated this text afterwards. So right away, look at this. We can't read it because it's paused, and the bar's in the way. But, oh, there we go. We'll do that. So this video contains early gameplay footage and is not representative of the final product. I claim no credit or affiliation with the title of the developers. Okay, that's fine. If you say redesign, that's usually fine. People will know what that means. And also, this text is different than your previous titles, all of them. And it's got a drop shadow that's like kind of dark on the white, and it makes it hard to read. And the drop shadow is different than your previous text drop shadow. So it's just like very back to the consistency thing. So we'll keep going. This is now into... I love this game, by the way. It's so damn good. Brain and
like
brain.
Like you've said, Kevin, anytime that there's those inconsistencies, what it does is it pulls people out from paying attention to the sound, and now they're paying attention to reading this stuff.
Yeah, I will be completely honest. I don't recall what that Burly Minute C redesign sounds like right now.
Yeah.
Because I think I was focused on this text and like reading that, and there was so much text to read, and I was like, and it's kind of hard to read too, so I was really focused on it, and I don't recall what this sounds like. So it's not what you want out of your audio reel, of course, right? Mm-hmm. And the end again, so Ryan Collins is in a new font yet, and then Phaser at Gmail is the same font, I guess, but not bold. So it's just, the consistency would go so far in just making this look better, man. So far.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's silent there too. It's like less important than having silence off the top, but still you're missing another chance to have just a little, audio bumper there.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk about material selection. First off, IGF, excellence in audio. Yeah, killer. Lead with that. Absolutely. I know that you didn't do all the sound design. Eduardo was the main guy in that case, but who cares? It's still, you were part of something.
Yeah, you worked on it. That's
part of something,
awesome.
and it's great,
Mm-hmm.
Next thing, I don't know what this is, the synth demo, watching it, and it sounded okay, I guess, but the presentation could be better. The next thing is the submission. So it's 3 things total. That's a bit of a low number considering it's a minute and a half long.
Yeah. Well, it's something I found interesting too was the everything section is about 30 seconds long, and then the long demo reel of everything is like a minute. So, or minute 13 or something. So like, I think you could definitely cut that section down.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Again, so Eduardo, Ed Sound Design, is that Eduardo? I'm assuming it is. He's saying Ryan worked hard at it, so it seems like that he's got an inside scoop on Ryan's work.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you saying that right now. So, Ryan, keep in mind that this reel, it doesn't need to show everything that you're doing. It doesn't need to show every part of it. It can just show some, like the stuff you want to focus on, and then trust in your work and that people want to know more. And if they do want to know more, they will click through and say, oh, cool, I want to see more of this thing. So we have everything, 115, like Matt's saying. and it's tons of cool
I
stuff.
think it's really good that like right below it is all the like longer versions of everything you've just shown me. So, and then some more stuff. So I'm like, if I get interested, then, like, all right, I'm hooked. I'll watch. I want to see the longer thing now.
Hook, move on. Hook, move on. Just
Yeah.
keep it brief. All right, and maybe put in one more thing just to, you have one redesign.
Maybe you could put in the other redesign that's on the bottom of the page and not in your reel for some reason.
Oh, let's have a look at this actually. Full screen, play. Here we go. I want to see this. Yeah, Eduardo Zolhoff too. That's right in the chat. Whoa. This is crazy. It's like not bad. I don't love all of it. But it's not bad. The ding is probably worth pulling back a bit, or just like dialing back in design and in mix. But cool, man. I mean, is it because you don't want to work in mobile stuff? And again, if it's here and you don't want to show it, why is it here?
Yeah, I think if you shorten it up the reel and put that into it as well, I think it's a good contrast to some of the other stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's we got 10 minutes left here in the promo time at least. So let's talk about content quality. I really liked the everything clips a lot. I know this game. So here's the thing. And we'll get back to Matt's presumed confusion, and it was a few things, but I'm going to presume the confusion of somebody in the world watching your reel who does not know what everything is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. I mean, it has the shipping platforms there, PS4 and PC, so you can kind of draw the conclusion this is a game called Everything. And that's a problem for every part of that entire game's marketing is the game's called Everything. But it's an apt name. So you can be anything, like everything in this game, and the sound is like really cool. It's like, what the hell does this sound like moving around? I think that if you didn't know how this game works, this is not the best video capture of what this game sounds like in the wild. It's a thing like hopping up and down over and over. I know what you're doing. You're showing like, this makes this sound. This makes that sound. That makes this sound. But in the game, you don't do that. You don't hop up and down. You're always on the move. So I think showing things on the move would be a better... It would be more engaging, A, and B, it would probably just be a better presentation of your work, too.
I think if you showed that same clip, but everything was moving just in a straight line through the world, doing its wacky, rolling, unanimated thing that's honestly pretty funny, would be a lot more engaging, and people would get a smile out of that.
I love this speaker buzz, man. It's so good. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, what the hell does a speaker sound like bumping along? That's a perfect sound for that speaker bumping along, There's a lot of creativity that goes into this design for this kind of game, and that's wonderful. I heard that, and I was like, hell yeah, that's so good. All right, so we'll carry on here. Cool fades, by the way. Although the fades... Oh my god, it's pretty loud. The fades in the next section are kind of all different, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, you could probably cut out a lot of these things, like we already said, just cut it down, because the work is great, so leave it in and just change how it looks. The synth thing, that is not synth, but is a thing called synth. We'll press play again.
Something's wrong. I can barely move.
Yeah, so voiceover in a reel, Matt?
This one I thought was fine, and I mean, again, I dug in and found that that was provided by the devs, I think is what he said. So that's part of the game. I didn't think it was bad. It is tough because if you have bad VO is worse than no VO.
Yeah. This is not bad.
So,
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's I'm curious if you were involved in the VO, and this is demo. Like again, I'm still not entirely clear on what this is. If it's shipped or if it's like a thing you did as a demo for them, or if it's a demonstration of work you did do, or what. This demo's developer provided me only with a build, a brief backstory, and a single unprocessed file containing all dialogue. Less than a month later. Yeah, it's just very... This could probably be a bit just abridged as far as what you did and such, you know?
Yeah, and like, did it ship? Has it shipped?
And did it ship, yeah.
You know?
And calling things demo, like it's a demo reel, and it's a reel demonstrating your work, and calling something a demo in a demo reel, it's just very... It confuses me a lot. Because I don't know if it's something you did as a demo for the developer or what, you know? So
yeah, I've definitely heard other people say when they see demo, they assume that, well, this isn't your best work.
Yeah.
So calling it a demo in your demo reel is like, well, then this isn't your best stuff. It's a work in progress or whatever.
Yeah. And it's not bad. I mean, I love. I'm a big fan of like audio vignette style design. Like hell, I made Phonopath. It's like a puzzle game based entirely in audio files, right? So it's something very cool and it's very unusual. So seeing this kind of thing, it does stand out. And I like that a lot.
Yep.
Let's skip ahead to Burly Men, and I'll listen this time. Skipping ahead some more. Here we go. Play. Yeah, cute. It's like fine for what it is. You know, it's just it seems maybe appropriate. I don't know what that sounds like off the top of my head right now from the game, but
I still haven't played that game, and that sounded to me like that fit that game.
Yeah, sure. That could be that could ship for sure.
Yeah. So
no question. All right, man. So I think that's probably enough for the content quality distinction. I mentioned it's already sending out a bit for being kind of audio only, some stuff in there in that reel, but how do you feel?
It's like it's got some great titles, but I feel like the everything section kind of overstays its welcome.
Yeah, so I think that again, I think that you have this reel is underperforming what you actually have to bring to the table, Ryan. I think that it's fair to say we've been kind of hard on you this real talk. We've been a bit hard on you from the first words about car stereo stuff, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. But the thing is, I like your work a lot. I think it's very good. And if you dealt with the consistency in design, and if you dealt with the presentation being more clear, and if you dealt with navigation being like way more focused as far as look at this now first, and then if you want to see more, go over. It's like it's over here. It's very clear where it is. If you dealt with all these things, and like Matt mentioned, make the everything be more engaging by like having tumbling along. Take notes from the trailer. The trailer looks awesome for that game, and add in like maybe one more thing, and maybe also add in things like implementation work you're doing. If you want to look into that kind of thing, like tutorials and such. If you do these things, this is a great reel. It's really good. I mean, the leading with an IGF Excellence in Audio nomination, that's super, super good. Not many people can do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that it's almost like stands out if you dig deep enough. And I think that for that reason, it's not going to stand out to a lot of people because they're not going to dig, you know? Okay. I think we're
make
good,
it
Matt.
as easy as possible for people to get how good you are.
Make it easy. Make it make it painfully obvious. Be shameless. Yep. Be very shameless. It's the whole point of having a demo reel. All right, so thank you very much, Ryan. Applause for you one more time. And I think this is the first time in a while we've like ended on time. So so applause for me also for trying to keep this train moving. So yeah, thank you again to Jeff Drawbaugh as well. And again, if anyone has yourself, Jeff or Ryan, any further questions, anything at all, please feel free to reach out and hit us up on Twitter if you need clarification. And of course, if you want to take a look again, we will happily welcome version 2.0s. We've looked at version 3.0s sometimes on Real Talk. So please resubmit. And if you yourself would like to submit, we have, I think, 4 open slots out of 8 in May. So feel free to get in touch on Twitter or, well, Twitter's the best way, actually. On Twitter, I'm down below here, either myself or at Power Up Audio. And, get in touch, and we'll find a spot to slot you in. Again, we have guest hosts. We have the audio director who was on Alien Isolation and worked on Assault Android Cactus. We have some folks from Valve, some more folks from Take-Two Interactive and Double Fine. There's a lot of good folks coming up. So as far as some outside insight, it's tough to find that kind of thing elsewhere. So please feel free to submit your stuff. All right. So Matt, thank you, man, for.
So you're gonna play my demo?
Oh yeah, woot.mp3. Here we go. Oh my god, I'm so pumped. I've not heard this yet.
You haven't even listened to it yet.
I haven't even heard it yet, man. I was purposefully.
So this is from 2008.
All right. Okay.
And it was one of the first things I put on my website when I went freelance to be trying to find work.
Okay.
So
okay.
This is a big sign of don't do this.
Eduardo. Good night. Oh wait, I'm staying. Yes. Okay, don't do this, Matt says. Let's go. I'm pressing play right now. I have no idea how loud it is too, so I apologize if it blows your ears off. Let's go.
Woot Woot Soundcode demo.
Sci-fi sounds.
Monster sound. Magic sound. And interface sounds.
Wow.
I think the positively worst thing you can do is out of context UI sounds.
That was good, man. Hire that man. Hire that man right now. Holy. wootwootsound.com. Yeah, that's very good, man. That like magic sounds.
Yep.
Was very, very nice. 10 out of 10 announcer. Hot damn. Everyone likes it, man. Claps. Says Shifter.
So that's where I started from.
Rad. I don't know if I have something like at the ready right now that I can pull out. We should
tune in next week.
We should make this a
Kevin's
tradition.
early
Like
demo.
yeah, exactly. Just pull out something I made like 15 years ago and just play it.
Yep.
I made a. Oh my god, I wonder if I can find this easily. I'm gonna do a search right now so we can find it fast. Ridiculous. I made.
So it's like
I don't know if I can find it.
there's a lot in there that's like fine. It's not bad, but there's like no context for any of it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes, true.
what do you do with a bunch of clicks for UI with no visuals? Like,
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of like a VHS, like greatest hits, or like an old timey TV greatest hits commercial. It's like,
Yep.
oh, your favorites.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like heart, and you like play something from them. It's like even like magic sound. It's like playing magic sounds. It's very, very good. I'm a big fan, man.
So that's how far we've come in like whatever 9 years.
All right.
You know, that used to be acceptable. That's not acceptable anymore.
Well, I can't find any real material. I will for next week for sure. But I will leave you with this thing I made about 9 years ago, and it's
nice.
it's a remix of the sound effects, or it's a remix using sound effects from that old game from Epic, Jill the Jungle. You know that game?
Yep.
It's very good. And here is, oh man, it's like all like MIDI sounds and stuff. Here is here's that. Can you hear this?
I can't.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
you have to go on stream, I guess.
I've got the weird thing.
Wait, I can do this. Hold up. We're putting this over on my Mac side. And then you'll hear it. It's very, very good. Hold up. All the stolen Amiga song samples. Yes. It's very, it's a gooder. Here we go. Desktop. Bing. This should be here now. One more time. There you go, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm bobbing my head. Oh, breakdown.
I couldn't hear a thing you were
So
saying,
good.
Matt. Sorry, what were you saying? What'd you
I
say?
think you need to take that song and then take some stuff out of my demo and slam those two together.
All right, I'm gonna end it right there, man. I will find some
No.
actual demo stuff for next week, though, and I'll play that then. Well, yo, thanks so much again, Matt, for being here, dude.
It was wonderful. It's
Taking
always
time
great
out
to
of
be
your
here
day.
and rip everything apart.
Yeah, of course.
I can't wait to see version 2 of all these.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, Ryan, please submit again. Jeff, please submit again. Feel free, all right? And thank you, everyone else, for being here. We are done. We're gonna kick you off with some freaking Dance with the Dead some more, and I'll let you go, Matt. Thanks a lot, dude.
All right. Thanks.
Peace. And waves. Please. And waves. Is it gonna play? It's not playing. We'll see how it goes. Come on now. Here we go. That'll play. Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm out. Peace.